A highly expectant crowd in the Ramat Gan Stadium in Israel. A new feeling of buoyancy about Israeli football as a team that was considered a little bit of a joke in the qualifying section for the World Cup and had some very bad performances, rather naive performances, I think more accurately to be described, have suddenly strung good results together. And there they are, sitting very handsomely at the top of the section. And 30-year-old goalkeeper who's had experience of British football, having played for Glasgow Rangers, of course. And when he's not playing football, he's a male model and a very highly paid newspaper columnist. There's the French team. The referee from Scotland, Jim McCluskey, started refereeing back in 1980. He's been on the FIFA list since 1987. A very experienced referee, a very cool customer who stands absolutely no nonsense. And as we're about to start this game, the French players well remember that night of infamy, they might call it, in French sporting history, the 13th of October 1993, when France, leading Israel in the Parc des Princes by 2-1, was stunned in the last 10 minutes of the game and beaten by 3-2. Perhaps the worst result in French footballing history. Certainly the Israeli players remember it. They wanted to swap shirts with the Frenchmen, who were very reluctant to do so. Only one player did it, and that was Eric Cantona, giving his jersey to Ronan Haradze, and it's done him very well because Haradze, as I said, number 10, is the top scorer. The pitch in immaculate condition. Ball taken there by Alan Hazard, who at one stage was the top transfer man for Israel. While the French, of course, play very exciting football when they get going. Alain Roche put that through and touched away from Roland Pedros. The French fighting very hard for this. Nicolas Wiedek. Oh, that's a very good start by Wiedek. And the three known players playing together here, Patrice Loco, Nicolas Wiedek and Ronald Pedros, have scored no fewer than 53 goals before them in club football this season. They are an explosive, dynamic trio, but can they find the right kind of touch for this type of quality of football? There's a beautiful ball right inside there to Berkowitz. Well, Berkowitz ought to have done better than that. The Maccabi Haifa player, much sought after in Europe. And I think there's a bit of a tug-of-war going on between Feyenoord and Anderlecht for his services. That was a beautiful ball put through by Tal Banner. I would imagine that maybe another 15 minutes into this game, with the blood coursing through his veins a little more, he might have put that away. A chance that came too early for them. Ooh, flicked on. Well, time after time, you get Laurent Blanc coming forward whenever he can. And he was a man who scored a couple of goals the last time that France played in the Ramat Gan Stadium. He did rather better last time with his head. Bonnie Ginsberg not doing that very well. Very courageous goalkeeper. Some might almost say rather reckless goalkeeper at times. Well, they're putting balls right through the middle in a very aggressive style, and out comes Bernard Lamar. Little 1-on-1 here. I thought there might have been a bit of a pull by Wiedek. As I said, all the French press talking about the fact that Ginola is on the bench. A very brave decision by the French coach, Aimé Jacquet. On the far side, you'll find that Ronnie Rosenthal will accompany Berkowitz, the Maccabi Haifa player, in trying to get these long balls that are being put through the center of that French defense. That's Loco getting his first real touch to his clubmate Pedros, headed away by Glam. Coming from the back, and Gloma. Watch the big fullback coming up. And too many players in there. Corner kick though. I was mentioning the fact Angloma does a lot of attacking, and of course you see that in Serie A, where he plays for Torino. And back goes Pedros, scorer of 8 goals this season in French club football. Now you watch, blown this time, hovered on the edge of the penalty area, came in a little bit too late, but the corner kick far too near Bonnie Ginsberg in goal. Very anxious night for the French. They've already played 3 no-scoring draws in this section. Loco, that's a very good ball. Wiedek. And you could see the excellent understanding between these players from Nantes. There it is again. And every time that either Pedros or Loco goes wide, you'll see Wiedek going right into the box very quickly. Here it is again. Watch a little touch forward here by Wiedek. Well, that's a good piece of goalkeeping. Le Guen. What a masterly game Le Guen played at the center of the Paris Saint-Germain defense against Barcelona. Eric D'Amico. Well, Wiedek, not offside. Well, that is rather surprising. He looked offside to me. And just lying outside him was Patrice Loco. Well, the French media have been giving the coach and the French players stick for rather negative performances so far in this qualifying group. They're desperately anxious for a win tonight. Just a bit too long. Wiedek putting it in very neatly. Loco was coming up inside him. And I think you're seeing yourself the evidence of a vastly improved Israeli side. They certainly could play good one-touch football, very good looking going forward, easy on the ball, but they were very naive in defense. And far too often in the World Cup qualifying games, which they played, of course, in Europe, they were caught badly exposed as they pushed forward. That's Wiedek, and I think a suggestion that there might have been a handling there by the captain, Klinger. Difficult to adjudicate in that. In comes Paul Le Guen. Nicely laid back there. The shot by Corentin Martin, the Auxerre player, a man who's likened very much. Well, Jim McCluskey won't be light for that. And after that very exhilarating start, the Israeli team beginning to get the feel of this game. Still under pressure, though, as Wiedek tried to lay it back. While Desailly powering his way forward. And I must say, this Israeli defense has improved out of what he saved. Lama. He's not had all that much to do in this game, but Alan Haratzi, the man who played with great distinction for Israel in the Olympics, testing Lama to the full. Well, I think the French must be annoyed at the chances they've had in this game. We're getting into stoppage time in the first half. Haven't put it away. That's a brilliant move. Flicked away across there by Martin. And I think the presence of Wiedek rather put him off. Too many players going into the box. Another break, and they've really been playing a kind of system allowing Rosenthal and Berkovic with Harassi just behind them to make these quick breaks. Well, when you get Rosenthal coming from the outside and Berkovic going right through the middle, the two defenders there, Roche and Blanc, really caught out. Very good balls being pushed forward by this man, Tal Bana. In defense by Israel, Shlomo Schaaf should take great credit for the way he's forged a much more determined Israeli side. They look much more stable in defence to start off with. They've been put under intense pressure by a French team, which is led, as I said, by Wiedek, Pedros and Loco, who've scored 53 goals between them in club football. But there is a body of opinion in France who say they might be good in the French First Division, but at this level it's a different matter. And of course, that's a classical case of players who do very well at club level and cannot make the transition. Well, the evidence of the first 45 minutes seems to substantiate that. They've had great possession, outstanding performances by Le Guen and Desailly, mopping up everything in midfield. Martin probing them from just behind these three front players, but again, not really testing Ginsberg. He's had two good saves, but the ball, I would have thought, on balance, should have been put beyond him. Like that, that's a shot again by Martin. And somehow or other, they've only really been slapping at this defence. No real penetration. Shot by Le Guen. Well, he does that very well. Not only have I seen him scoring goals from way out like that, but he bends them to great effect. Just too near the goalkeeper that time. This is Revivo. Well, a loud roar from the crowd there, but I think it was always going past the left-hand post. Bernard Lama, 31 years of age and playing 17 times for France, wasn't going to let that go without being a chaperone. Martin, very good ball again at Pedros. Well, time after time, they've taken this Israeli defence apart, and somehow that final shot has eluded them. I actually think we're seeing a French team, look at the way it's lofted over by Patrice Loco. Now, Loco has scored, as I said, 19 goals in French football, and we've seen it week after week, snapping up chances like that. And I just get the feeling that we're watching a very nervous French side. And that's affecting them in the Israeli penalty area more than anything else. Away by Ginsberg. Now, Ronnie Rosenthal loves to burst forward like this. Just taking his eye off it though. Le Guen, masterful in midfield again. Oh, I think the French are looking a little bit frustrated now. This is Revivo again. Very good-looking player. Described to me by an Israeli friend as very much an aggressive offensive midfielder. Lama. And screaming at his defence. Now, for the first time in a game, Arazzi opening out. Very excitable crowd in the Ramat Gan Stadium. Just every now and again, feeling of apprehension as a player like Desailly breaks forward, put in there by Pedros. I think the very fact that Patrice Loco came in at the same time might have put Desailly off. Well, I wonder if they're beginning to celebrate, feeling that even a draw, no scoring draw, is an infinitely better result for Israel than it is for France. Remember, if it ends like this, it'll be the fourth one. Well, Laurent Blanc epitomizing the frustration of a team which has been so superior in midfield, and all their efforts coming to naught just about there. Well, they would do worse than to push Laurent Blanc forward now. The Saint-Etienne player scored 8 goals this season, even though Saint-Etienne are having a very lean time of it and haven't won a game away from home. But their captain is always capable from a set position of getting up well in the air. There's Shlomo Schaaf, taken a lot of players who are totally unknown in European football and welded them together expertly. Billing for a free kick. Mr. McCluskey says no. Yorkev, the substitute, on for Martin. Almost into stoppage time now. If they could score a goal now, they would be through in Lama. Perfectly fair challenge. And the goalkeeper did extremely well, because there might have been the possibility of hesitation between Blanc and Lama, but the goalkeeper decided it was his ball. In by Zohar, Lama. And oh, how this crowd are desperate for this winner. I think very notably the credit goes to the Israeli defense mostly. They have had occasional bursts forward like this, and that's what I said was a good decision by the goalkeeper, just to scythe in there after the ball, taking everything with him. I think he was fairly safe. He would get a refereeing decision for him. And there goes the final whistle. Something, I have to say, of a disaster for the French. Well, one win and now 4 draws from their 5 matches. That doesn't seem like the form to take them to the finals in England. They still have a chance. Arithmetically, they're still in it, as I'm sure the coach, Emi Jackie, there will be telling the press in just a few